everyone. Welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker. I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin and on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin. It's September 23rd today. Kind of gray, not quite raining yet, but it wants to. Definitely have been wearing sweaters this week, which has been very exciting. Well, it's the beginning of September in BC here. It just rains all the time, and it doesn't ever really get very cold. But in the beginning of September, it was pouring rain, but it was still too warm to actually wear a sweater. So if I was wearing my raincoat and like a pair of jeans, I was overheating walking Georgia to work or walking Georgia to school in the pouring rain. So that sucked. But now it's cooled off a bit and it's awesome. And the leaves are starting to like do their thing. It's starting to be fall. I'm entirely surrounded by orange right now and it's great. And this is the 35th episode of the podcast YouTube channel video thing. So that's pretty cool. The first thing I want to talk about is the giveaway that I did last time as my welcome back to the YouTube world giveaway. And so that was for the little light up marquee sign, the little cat dish thing, some stitch markers, and these two guys, which are a nettle yarn from Ancient Arts, which is super cool. And so I just had people tell me what their favorite thing about summer was in the comments of the last episode. And that was for the entries. And I just did a random number generator before I started podcasting today. And the winner is Victoria Kilbreath. So Victoria, congratulations. Please get in contact with me anyway. The Ravelry, Instagram, email, everything's down below. Get a hold of me and give me your address and I will send you your prize. Other things going on in kind of businessy Pip and Pin land is the 88 Stitches, the yarn shop, my favorite yarn shop in Langley, is hosting a Pip and Pin knit along, and it actually starts today. So you can go to the 88 Stitches Ravelry group for all of the details. But it is a knit along, and you can do any Pip and Pin pattern that you want using yarn from 88 Stitches or from Sweet Fiber. So any of those, and you can enter to win some cool prizes. There will be I think it's a book or two of mine is in there, and I'm sure some yarn and some other really cool, they always have really cool prizes for their knit along stuff. So definitely go to their Ravelry page and look into that, because that's very exciting. If you go to the store and purchase yarn for the knit along, just like let whoever know, just say, hey, I'm doing the knit along and I'm buying this yarn. You can get 10% off. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then it goes all the way until November the 9th. And that is also the day that I'm going to be there doing a trunk show. So from 11 to 4, 12 to 4, pretty sure it's 11 to 4, I'll be there at the store, and you can come and show me all of the projects that you've made. I'll also have patterns and books and samples for you to try on, and just be knitting there and having I think it'll be a really fun day and a nice way to wrap up the knit along. The other thing is Knit City. Knit City is in a couple weeks, a week and a half. 2 weeks? A week and a half. It's getting close. And that is at the Peony Forum in Vancouver, BC from October 4th to 5th. I don't remember my booth number, but if you've been to the Peony Forum before, there's the 2 bathrooms, and there's one like kind of right on the side of the arena, the big one. I'm right there, so you won't miss me. right by the bathrooms. Kind of excited about that. So I can just like see everyone as they walk by. It'll be great. I'm also doing the knit night on the Thursday. Me and Sam from Hand Me My Knitting. She and I are going to be at the Waldorf. And I think you can still buy tickets for that at knitsocial.ca, I think they're $20 or something. And then they're going to have, I was reading a little bit about it because I just bought the tickets and I was like, yeah, let's go do this fun thing. And I think it's, there's the restaurant part, which has lighting and like seating and you can sit down and like have drinks and knit and talk. And then there's also the like tiki bar, which is dark and drinks and maybe just bring a sock if you're going to hang out in there. I haven't been to the Waldorf in a really long time. I remember I went there for my sister's birthday one year and it was really fun. Because it's a tiki bar and they just played fun dance music. So I'm going to talk about some knitting. I'm not going to ramble as much as I did last time because I think I want to try and keep the episodes a little bit shorter. I want to try them to do them more often, keep them a little bit shorter so that, I don't know. I personally just find shorter episodes easier to watch. Not that I don't like watching the longer ones too. It's just I find I have to like watch them over 5 days instead of, half an hour you can sit down and watch. So anyways, that's my goal. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. Hoping for once a week. 30-minute episodes. They're also so much easier to edit and upload and like all that stuff. Because if I have an hour and a half or anything over an hour, like takes an hour to film, double that. That's how long it takes to edit. And then usually like double or triple. And that's how long it takes to like render the video from the editing program and then upload it to YouTube. So it's a long time. But shorter episodes means less time doing stuff like that. Anyways, let's talk about some knitting. So I'm going to talk about this sweater because this is a newly released pattern of mine that I designed, and it came out last Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. And this is the Cat Bells sweater, and this is made with the fiber company Cumbria in the Cat Bells colorway. I did name the sweater after the yarn because I've been in love with this yarn for years and years. I did it like, if you saw a post on Instagram, I had a whole big long story about why I love this yarn so much. And it's actually one of the very first like yarns that I just have fallen in love with. And I've used Cumbria before, but this color specifically I've been thinking about for so many years, and I'm just really happy about it. So I named my sweater after the color. Until tomorrow, you can get 20% off the pattern on Ravelry. I'll put a link to everything down below. I'll put a link to the pattern and the code and everything. Just use the code CATBELLS when you check out, and you can get 20% off. And that is just until tomorrow. So until September 24th at midnight, I think it's when it ends. And then if you want to make the same, like use the same yarn and everything, you can actually buy kits for this sweater on the Fiber Company website. I'll also have links down below. And then if you use the code CATBELLS10 on their website, you can get 10% off the entire kit. And so the kit comes with all the yarn for whatever size you want to make. All the yardage and size measurements are all on the Ravelry page, and they're on the Fiber Company website as well. So you just pick your size, you get the yarn that you need, as well as the pattern. So if you buy the kit, you get everything, not just the yarn. And so I know I said this about like all the stuff I designed, but this is one of my favorite things that I've designed recently, aside from the amazing yarn and the color. It's just really comfy. It has, I'll notice I didn't do this last time. I'll actually get my hair out of the way for you so you can see it. But it has this all over texture. It's like a garter. It's a garter stitch, but it has these eyelets on it. And so it has these like columns of eyelets going all the way down it. And that's over the whole body, and the sleeves is all in this textured pattern. Really simple. I think it's only a 2-row repeat pattern. And I didn't put it in the pattern, but some of my testers, my amazing testers, had done it where I'm going to butcher this, but there is a way, because when you do garter stitch in the round, you are purling, like you're knitting a row and then purling a row. But there is a way to attach a new ball of yarn and then kind of just switch the direction that you're knitting. And so you knit one round and then you kind of go the opposite way with the other yarn and knit that round, and it's like you're purling. It's really neat. I will have to find a link to the tutorial that was shared in the testing group, because it was really, really cool. I kind of wish I had known about it when I was working on the sweater. But yeah, it's just top down, drop sleeves. So it's super, super comfy, nice and roomy. I think I have about 4 or 5 inches of positive ease. I'd have to look on the pattern because it says on there. Maybe 6, I don't know. Somewhere 8. Somewhere between 4 and 8. I don't know. Lots, enough. So it has some positive ease at the bust, and the body is just straight. And I'll see if I can stand up. I'm like doubling the orange today. But it's a little bit bloused here as well. And some of my testers didn't, because there's a row of decreasing before you do the ribbing, and that kind of pulls it in a little bit. And then you do your ribbing just a little bit tighter and on smaller needles. So it does like cinch everything in. And then you do the same at the sleeves. So you have a little blouse sleeve, you have a little blouse body. Blouse body, is that how you would say that? I don't know. Pull it in at the waist a little bit. And I really like that silhouette. And it's a little bit cropped. Like it's not super cropped. It's not a crop top necessarily, but like I will wear it. If you look at the pictures for the pattern, I'm wearing it with some high-waisted jeans, and it kind of hits like just at the top of my jeans, and it's pulled up a little bit. And now some of the people that tested it omitted those decrease rounds or the decrease round to pull it in at the waist. So the body is more straight, which also looks really great and is another good option if you don't really want that definition right at your waist there. And then some people too, because this is Cumbria is not a super wash yarn. It's very like bouncy, and it keeps its shape really well. A few people had used superwash yarn, and so it stretched a lot more. So you do have to just pay attention to your gauge, and just be aware of the yarn that you're using, because superwash yarn stretches quite a bit more. Not stretches, but it'll change when it's blocked for sure, because it's not as like together as 100% wool thing. What else can I say about it? It's just super comfy. And it's kind of one of those things, to me anyways, personally, it feels like one of those sweaters where I can put it on with a pair of jeans and like my boots or some sneakers or whatever, and be super casual and comfortable, and then like put the sweater on, and it kind of makes a look. You know what I mean? It just like kind of pulls everything together. I don't know. I just feel really good in it, and I hope that the people that make it feel really good in it too. I had some really amazing testers for this pattern. I had a very short deadline, and like everybody did so amazing, and their pictures are beautiful. We'll put some pictures no, just go look at the Ravelry page because there's so many projects that are just so amazing. The other thing that this is something new that I have never done before. And I think I talked about this a little bit last time, but I'm going to share it again. But on the cuffs and all the bands, like the collar and the bottom band, I did a tubular bind off. And I've never done that before. So I know there's a couple different ways to do it. I did the way where you put it on, you do like the slip stitch kind of setup rows, and then you put it on 2 needles and then Kitchener it together. And it was a little bit of work, but I love it. I really, really like it. It's stretchy enough. I could have done it even a little bit looser, but it's definitely stretchy enough. And it just looks so finished because it kind of makes this little edge where it just looks like the ribbing is going around almost, like there's no real end to your thing. It just looks very, very finished. I know there's a way where you just sew it, and there's like it's like a crazy Kitchener stitch. I don't know, more elaborate Kitchener stitch. So maybe next time I'll try that one just to see. But I was perfectly happy, spending the time doing that. So if that's not something that you've done before, you should give it a try, because I think I tried it once before and I didn't like it because I was like rushing through it, or I was just trying to, it just wasn't looking right away. And so I just gave up and did my normal bind off. That's okay. So yeah, sweater. New sweater. Very excited. Come see it at Knit City or at 88 Stitches. 20% off on Ravelry until tomorrow night, using the code CATBELLS, and 10% off the kits on the Fiber Company using CATBELLS10, and that goes just until October 1st. So, yeah. So I have some finished stuff to talk about. I have one to show you, one I can just talk about. My cousin had a baby, so I did make her a little hat for her baby, and I will put a picture of that one here because I don't actually have it. It's already been given away. I knit it in a day, and it was a super cute, fun, fast project. It's the Prism hat by Tin Can Knits, and I did this stripy variation. I really love Tin Can Knits patterns. Who doesn't love a Tin Can Knits pattern? This is from their Mad Color book, which I got in Knit City a few years ago. And it's just, if you ever need like a gift for somebody, just find any Tin Can Knits hat pattern. Simple. That's my advice to you. I don't really know what yarns I used. I think I just found some stuff in my stash that I thought Lexi would like, and I hope she likes it. It's very big. It doesn't fit baby yet, but that's okay. Maybe when it's actually cold enough to wear it. The other thing that I finished, I do have, even though it's slightly damp, you won't be able to tell. These are my stripy socks that I made. My super scrappy, stripy socks. Yeah, I didn't use a pattern for these. I just used US 1 needles, plain vanilla socks. I think there's 60 stitches, and then the 8 row stripes. So there was a lot of ends to weave in. If you don't like doing ends, I wouldn't suggest stripes like this, but I don't mind. And especially socks for myself, I honestly like. They don't look super tidy inside, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I just used, the only yarn I really know is this orange, which I used a couple times, and that's from 6 and 7 Fiber. And I think this pink is some Prairie Dye Studio MCN. It's so soft. But I don't really know what anything else is. I just did a Fishlets kit heel, which is the easiest heel in the world to memorize. I think it's $1 for the pattern, and it's a very in-depth pattern. So if you haven't tried the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, I would suggest going and buying that for $1 because it's totally worth it. And these are, I'm doing the Grocery Girls Sock Bash. And so these are my September socks. And I have done every month. So some of them twice. So that I had to finish them this week because I spent yesterday. That's what I did yesterday. I finished those up. And I did do these socks 2 at a time because the theme for September was something new, like a new to me technique was the theme. And so I tried knitting them 2 at a time on one long circular needle. And I liked it, kind of. I didn't hate it, but I don't know. The great thing, I'll start with, I have like a pro and con column here about what I liked and didn't like about 2 at a time socks. I did like that they both got done at the same time. So like last night when I finished them, they were just done. Aside from the millions and millions of ends that I had to weave in, they were just Kitchener, done. So that was really cool. But the cons, they did take longer. They take longer to make because you're switching needles and you have to like switch your socks, and it just takes longer because you have to move the yarn around so much more than if you were doing just a normal magic loop or using a 9-inch circular. It was more fiddly, and I'm not about fiddly things. So especially with these, when changing yarns and doing this, and like there's kind of like a sock hanging off here and over on this side. It was just more fiddly. There was too much going on at the same time. And it wasn't as portable. And because you're taking out, like, I mean, they're small. They're still just a pair of socks. But like I would take a pair of like a sock walking somewhere, and I can't really do that because I have to pay so much. There's just less knitting and more farting around. I was going to say something else. There's just more, you have to like I said before, you have to move things around too much. And it's just not as easy to me as magic loop. Magic loop, you have one sock, and I can just do that without looking. And that's what a sock is to me, is being able to just pick it up and knit on it and not have to look at it. Like take it to the movie theater, take it for a walk, in the car, things like that. And with 2 at a time, it's just not the same. Would I do it again? Probably not. I totally understand the appeal, and I understand, like, especially if you're working on a pattern or something like that, where you can just do the same thing on each sock, and then it's the same. That's kind of cool, but not for me. Not for what I knit socks for. Like, I never just sit down and knit a crazy lace pair of socks. You know what I mean? So, yay, socks are done. I really like the socks, even though they're kind of ridiculous. I think they're fun. And thumbs down to 2 at a time. But whatever floats your boat. I do have a couple of whips to show you as well. And I didn't show these ones last time because there just wasn't enough time. And I think I've worked on them a little bit since last week anyways. But the first one is, I actually have a 1.5. Speaking of not knitting lace socks, but this is not a hard lace pattern. These are a design I'm working on. Oh, there's hair and fluff. And so there's no pattern for these yet. This is actually my second pair of these, because the first ones I did, I knit on US 1 and I really liked the fabric and I really liked the yarn, but it was just very dark. I used Hypothesis yarn and it's this beautiful like dark greeny, purpley color. But it just wouldn't photograph very well. So I decided to go up a needle size as well. Just because I feel like most people kind of use US 1 needles to knit socks. And I don't know, like 0 is my preferred. I like tight socks. But you know, maybe I'll just put in the pattern for both needle sizes because these are turning out quite a bit bigger than my other ones and quite a bit looser. So maybe I'll just include instructions for both. But anyways, so this is the sock and it's patterned on both sides. So the front and the back. And then the heel, I think I'm just at the start of the heel on this one, but the heel has this little detail on the back and it's a heel flap and gusset. And then it has the same little finishing detail kind of on the toe when you do the toe decreases. Top down because that's how I do my socks. This is the yarn. The yarn is Black Hat Custom Yarns Everyday Sock, which I think is an 80/20. And it is in the Steam Powered Giraffe colorway. And it's this beautiful, like tonal, peachy, pinky, lovely color. This pattern has already been tested, but I don't think it's going to be released for a while. I have a couple other things lined up and we're working on another book for next year. And I think these might be a part of that book. I'm not sure yet. I haven't really decided, but it's kind of ready to go. So this, like, I haven't been rushing to finish these or anything because they don't need to be finished right away. And if I don't have deadlines for things, then sometimes they just don't get done. But I did make a deal with myself because I showed you the courage shawl I was working on before. So I have this pair of socks and then I have a cardigan that I want to show you. And those are the two design kind of working projects that I have. Are the only two design ones. But I really want to finish both of those before I continue working on my courage shawl because that's my reward for finishing these. So I have half a sock to do and this. I'm pretty sure I've shown this before. It was in a timeout for quite some time, pretty much the whole summer, because I kind of based this on a sweater that a cardigan that my mom had and I kind of inherited and I wore it pretty much every single day last fall. So I based this sweater on the shape of that one and I was trying to copy the collar, but just the yarn is different and the way it lays is different. And because I'm making it and like I'm designing it, I'm way pickier than just having the sweater. Like the sweater that I wear, it was funny because it has this kind of folded over collar and it's just knit in stockinette. And when I was working on my version of it, I did the collar the same and it was kind of, it was doing what stockinette does. It was rolling a little bit and doing a little bit of funny things. And I was like, what is going on? And like, why is it doing this? The other one was similar yarns, not the same, but similar kind of rustic yarns. And so I tried on the ready to wear one and it does the exact same thing. I just never noticed it before because I wasn't paying attention to exactly what the fabric was doing because I wasn't the one who was doing it. Anyways, so the body and the sleeves and everything about this sweater has been done for a while, a couple months now. But the collar I've done about, I think this is my 4th time doing it. Or at least like ripping it back a couple times. I know I've had to rip back half of this already to make it kind of work. Anyways, I should show you what I'm trying to talk about. So it's going to be funny because the collar is big and floppy right now. It's not really doing what it's supposed to be doing, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is the cardigan that I'm talking about. It's big and it's open front and it has big panels that cross over in the front. And it's going to be closed with kind of just one big button. It does have pockets. It has side pockets that look funny right now because they're not tacked down or anything. And then nice, kind of not fitted sleeves, but not super big, wide sleeves or anything. With a rolled cuff because I really like rolled cuffs. And it's just a big, comfy, squishy cardigan. It's going to be so good when it's done and totally worth all of the headaches. The yarn that I'm using is from Ancient Arts, and it is their Let's Go base, which is 100% wool. It's 25% Manx Lockton and 75% Punta Arenas wool. And this is the just before midnight colorway. So it's kind of this, not navy, but this really nice dark muted blue. And the really nice thing about this yarn is I love the way that it takes the dye. Because if you look at all the colorways that they have for this, it's all, like, it's even kind of showing up bright on the screen there. But it really is this like dusty, muted kind of color. And all of the colors are like that. So they all look really nice together. Like there's none that are super vibrant, crazy, colors. They're just all, looks really nice with this actually. Everything's kind of the same palette right now and I really like it. But yeah, everything has the same tone. So if you were looking for something to do like color work with, I think this would be really nice for color work because you couldn't make a wrong decision with what colors to put together. So anyways, what's going on with this collar right now is it's just about done. I really should just finish it. It looks silly right now because there's short rows and it looks like this kind of big blob, but it's actually going to be folded over now. It was something entirely different before. But I remember doing, what was the sweater? Beacon Hill by Jane Richmond. I don't actually have the sweater. I gave it to my aunt, but it had this big, like double folded collar that I thought might work with this. So I'm just going to pretty much, I think I have a row or two to knit, and then I'm gonna bind it off and seam it onto this part so that it's like seamed, so it's double, like the fabric will be double wide and then it will be kind of folded over. This doesn't make any sense. Sweater origami is happening over there. So once I'm done that cardigan and this pair of socks, then I'm really excited to work on my courage shawl again because I want that on my body in the fall. I guess talking about some dream knitting. I've had this yarn in my stash for a while, and it's this beautiful like yellow, mustard yellow. I bought it at Knit City 2 years ago, last year, maybe it was last year, I don't know. It's mustard yellow and it has these like black and brown speckles on it, and it's a wool mohair fingering weight yarn. And I didn't buy it with any pattern in mind. I have 6 skeins of it because I just bought all of it. Like I just wanted I didn't want to be limited by how much yarn I had on what I could make, so I just like bought the extra. And I think right now it's looking like it might become a cloud by Hohi Locatelli. Because I've just heard really great things about that pattern. And I need more cardigans. And I don't really want to design anything using it, but I really like it and I want to use it for myself. Like, that's why I bought it. I bought it to make something for myself with it. I think originally I was going to do a portage cardigan in it and alter it to be for fingering weight instead of DK. I think worsted, maybe. The pattern is for DK or worsted, but I was going to alter it to be for fingering. But I did end up making a portage in DK, and I really like it. So maybe I should do like a cloud. I don't know. But maybe that's something I will work on or start this winter and have it by maybe next year. I still have a Lilium that I've started. I think that's my oldest whip right now, is a Lilium that I had started for myself last October. So it's almost a year old. I should just finish it. I should finish that before I start another sweater. But I'm still going to work on my courage after I finish these two. And that's it for knitting. So if that's all you're here for, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next week, hopefully. And if you want to hear about other stuff that's going on, you can stick around. Knit City Prep has been happening full force. I had, our washing machine broke. It started leaking, and we live in a weirdly shaped apartment. It was built in the 80s. There's lots of weird angles. So our washing machine is actually in a closet, but it's a triangle shaped closet that's tiny, and a very specific sized washer and dryer, stacked washer and dryer can fit in there. So ours broke. It was 30 years old, or however old it was. And we couldn't find anything to fit in it. We actually did find one, because it was just a motor that broke, so Justin was just going to replace it. But the replacement was $400 because it's so old. But then we found someone selling one on Craigslist for $60. So Justin, after work one day, went to go pick it up, and he was a couple blocks away from this guy's house, and he's just like, I just looked in the backyard and it had gotten stolen. So we didn't have a washing machine. So we did find one that had the same dimensions as ours. I think it was 24 inches wide was the maximum that it could be at, 24 by 26 or something. And the smallest one, I think we found one that would have fit perfectly, but it was new and it was $2,000. And we really don't plan on staying here. And I don't want to spend $2,000 on a new washing machine. If I'm going to spend $2,000 on a new washing machine, it's going to be a big one and it's going to be a great one. None of this little tiny apartment size, wash 3 pairs of jeans kind of thing. No way. So we did find a discount refurb place, and we found one for much less. But the sizes are right, but the vent is in the wrong spot. And there's no way to deal with that. So long story short, we now have no closet door on the laundry closet. So we had to, this place also had closet doors on Justin and I's closets. It was a kind of in this hallway to the ensuite bathroom. There were closet doors on these closets. Except if you had clothes hanging, you couldn't close it because the closets aren't actually wide enough for a clothes hanger. So we'd taken those doors off a long time ago, and we put them in George's closet behind some shelves. So anyways, last week I took our laundry closet door that we had to take off and put it into, I had to take everything out of George's closet and put it into the back and put everything back. But anyways, super rambly story about a washing machine. Sorry, guys. The point of that was, since I was taking everything out of George's closet anyways, I took out all of the Knit City stuff and organized it all and like got it all together. And so now that is taken over my living room. And yarn for the swap has taken over everywhere else. So that yarn just keeps coming in, and I've been winding it up into minis. And last time I really tried to like keep on top of it so that I wouldn't have to do, 20 skeins of yarn all at once. I'm not going to be able to do that this time because yarn just keeps coming in. I'll get probably 6 or 8 skeins of yarn a day, and there's no way I can wind all that up in a day. So I have lots of time to do it. I'm not worried about it. So it's just slowly accumulating. I am winding it up like I usually do, a little bit a day. So I have almost a big Tupperware bin is almost full of mini skeins. Why did I decide to do that? Like right at Knit City time? I don't know, but it's fun. I have a really old Jeep Cherokee, and I really like it, but it's old. It's 30 years old. It's from 1990, and we haven't had it on the road all summer. But we're planning to put it on the road for the winter because it has the good tires and, all that fun stuff. I don't want to buy winter tires for my car. So we're putting it on the road in the winter. The plan was, because the Cherokee is awesome and the seats fold down flat and it's just this big square box, perfect for bringing everything to Knit City. But because it's been sitting so long, I was just starting to get anxious about, Justin had wanted to switch the insurance a month before we were really going to need it, so that he could drive it to work and make sure everything was running fine and then, and then have it. But just time passed and it didn't get done. And so now it was Knit City was getting closer and I was just getting really anxious about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to bring the Jeep because I've decided that when things make me anxious like that, it's probably just not worth doing. So I figured out a plan B, and I'm going to be using my mom's car, and then she's either going to take her car or the van or something, and George is taking the day off school, and so she's going to come on Friday to help set up at Knit City. So if you're going to be there on Friday, you can come say hi to Georgia. I'm sure she'd love it because she really wanted to come to Knit City this year, just even just to visit, for a day or something. But I don't know, that's not really Justin's thing. So I just asked Mom if she would want to come out and help us set up because we could use the help anyways. And then Georgia can come and be a part of that. So I think she's very excited about it to be helpful. She's a hopeful kid. Also, she finished her first, full week of kindergarten. And last time I talked about, she had some issues on her first day, or first couple days. But her teacher said since, really getting in the routine of things, there haven't really been, issues like that. So that's good. And she is really excited about school and talks to me about it and is really happy when I pick her up. So everything is going great in that department. So that was better. I was a little bit worried that maybe it would be too much for her, but nope, she's doing just fine. I'm also doing good. I kind of like having time to podcast, time to clean the house, time to go grocery shopping, do all that Knit City stuff. And it's been kind of awesome. I don't know how long it's going to last, but we will see. it was also our 3-year anniversary. We got married 3 years ago, Justin and I. And we didn't really do anything exciting. We had burritos and he brought me flowers. It was great. And that's about it. Mostly lots of Knit City, lots of mini skeins. Sweater weather is starting. Good times. So if you, Victoria Kilbreth, please contact me about your giveaway prize. Don't forget about the 88 Stitches Pip and Pin Knit Along. So go to their Ravelry group. I'll put a link down below. Catbell sweater, 20% off on Ravelry using the code CATBELLS until tomorrow only. I'll throw a reminder up on Instagram as well. And then if you go to thefibercompany.com, you can get 10% off the entire kits until October 1st. That's it. Thanks so much for joining me. If you like this episode, please give me a big thumbs up. That helps get the word out to other people so they can watch it too. And subscribe. All right, I will see you guys next week. I think I'll do like a Knit City preview thing next week. We'll see. Okay, bye guys.